Time now for Sid 6-0. This is where I get 60 seconds to talk about anything. Start the clock. Please, here's what's on my mind this morning. Leafs lost this past Monday to Los Angeles, stopped a 5-game winning streak. Wasn't a shocker. Toronto's big guns were bound to slow down at some point, and if that happens, the Leafs normally lose. That's how that works. After the game, I was expecting head coach Sheldon Keefe to say, "We just ran out of steam, but we'll get back at it Wednesday night against Philly." He didn't say that. Instead, he complained about their starts. Watch this.
That's what we're trying to get out of, is this team that doesn't play great one night and has lots of urgency and plays a way that is a recipe to win consistently, and then comes out the very next game and isn't the same group and doesn't have the same level of urgency against a different opponent. Until we get that sorted out, we're going to continue to ride this wave. That's not good enough.
They say it's not how you start, it's how you finish. But with Toronto, how you start sometimes is how you finish. It's usually a coach's job to get a team ready to play. This one's on Sheldon. Sorry. I think it's on Sheldon. Julian McKenzie of The Athletic, Yahoo Sports, SDPN, making his maiden voyage here on BT. Julian, it is great to see you, man. Good morning to you. We appreciate you getting up. Let's start with the Leafs. I'm not letting the coaching staff get a pass here in terms of the rough starts. Am I wrong?
You shouldn't. I'll look at it like this. Obviously, I have the outsider's perspective, not being in Toronto, but remember, this was supposed to be a regular season that the Leafs were essentially supposed to kind of blow through, and it wasn't really supposed to matter. To see them lose games like the way they're losing against the Los Angeles Kings the other night, like 5-1, like that's a bit of a cause of concern. And if the coaching staff is not able to get his guys prepared for games like that, especially if you're a Leaf fan, I think there's definitely cause for concern there. They can't be tripping up at some of these games when they're expected to be a competitive team come playoff time. Absolutely not. I'm with you on that one, Sid.
And in terms of the big four, Tavares, Nylander, Marner, and Matthews, the 5-game winning streak, it was nice. All four were rolling. They were playing great. Jack Campbell was looking good. But if they're not at that level, this Leaf team is as transparent as you can get. If they're not at that level, they're not going to win. I do, before we let you go, want to get your opinion, considering you're in and around the Habs a lot. Carey Price returning with the team a few days ago, but yesterday, for the first time, putting out a full statement on Instagram talking about his substance use and the lack of care with his mental health that he's taken down through the years. He just came off the substance abuse program in the National Hockey Player Assistance, to be accurate. He's back with the team, Julian. One, it's great to see him back with the team. Two, I know it's not the real headline here, but when do you think we'll see Carey Price back on the ice in a competitive game?
The best way I could answer it is that we'll see Carey Price back on the ice when we will see him.
Fair enough.
Here's the thing about this whole deal. I said from jump that this is not something that you could easily predict on when he would come back. And even if, he's out the program now, we get that. This is a guy who didn't skate all training camp. This is a guy who was recovering from knee surgery this offseason. He had some issues with his hip as well. This is a guy who's going to have to go through some conditioning to put himself in a position to be able to play hockey again. And even at that, like, I think with the way that the team looks now, they've had some somewhat decent goaltending over these last few games, and that hasn't even completely erased all of the mistakes. I think when he eventually comes back, or however they have him back in the lineup, or however they have him back in the locker room, it could serve as an emotional lift to those players who could definitely need it with the way their season is going. But it's very tough to kind of put a timeline as to when exactly Carey Price will be back with the Montreal Canadiens.
And the losing with the team, let's quickly go with the results. It's been awful. I mean, no Carey Price forever. Shea Weber, his career might be done. Like, I think this is not a normal year. I don't see Dominic Ducharme and the coaching staff getting axed for this. Do you think we see it out throughout the year with that crew?
Yeah, and I think it's kind of, they don't really have much of a choice, right? Because Dominic Ducharme was extended in the offseason after his run to the Stanley Cup final. You may remember Claude Julien was the head coach of this team before Dominic Ducharme took over. His money is still on the books right now. Not to mention, with the players that they got from last year, this is a team that they thought expected to be at least somewhat competitive going forward. I know that last year went the way it went, and then they ended up going to the final. And this year, they signed guys like Anderson and Toffoli with the hopes of being a competitive team. I think what the Canadiens are probably going to do, unless they are able to make some kind of significant change, they're probably just going to have to stick this one out and just hope that their guys are able to figure it out, or they're just going to have to go down with the ship and essentially just be a team that's just going to miss the playoffs because, yeah, it doesn't really look good at the way that it's kind of started for this team so far this season.
Yeah, or just scrape in and go to the Cup final. One of the two. He is Julian McKenzie. We're bugging him again. He's great. Have a great day, man. Appreciate you. Thank you.